Good morning. It's lovely to connect with you. I just had a quick switcheroo in my room, so I just quickly switched things up, and it's good to be here and to be settled. So, welcome. This is our healing list event for my June patrons, my patrons for June here at Temple of Balance. So, welcome and thank you for your support and thanks for joining me today. So, I have 30 people on the list today. Here you all are. Thank you all for your support. So, as always, with our healing list event, it's very much governed by what I'm feeling at the time as I'm leading up to preparing for the event. At the very least, I'm always bringing your name through the event in some way. So, how that happens is up to my creativity, really, because it's just my creative thinking. How can I bring you in? What am I feeling? How can I bring these energies together? So, what I'm very much inspired to connect with today is gold, golden energy. Gold is like not quite my obsession at the moment, but just a little, I guess, history leading up to this particular time where gold, the energy of gold has reappeared. Now, I'm not talking about gold bars or money. I'm talking about the energy of gold. So, gold itself, golden light, the brightness of gold, the energy of gold, the feeling of gold. And at almost exactly 3 months ago, I was quite taken by the energy of gold, but it felt very much like I was watching documentaries and just connecting with it, and it just kept pulling me. And being a ceramics artist, I bought myself some gold luster, which is like the gold that you see around the edge of plates and things like that, the fancy ones. And I've had it sitting there for months and not using it. It's very expensive for a tiny little vial about that big, because gold's very expensive, as we know. So I finally got my gold out the other day and did a few gold luster things, which I was going to bring a couple here, but I didn't, so I don't have any to show you. But it's reappeared. It appeared in March. For me, it felt like it was kind of calling me from in the earth, like an energy, like a sound, like a resonance, a vibration coming up from the earth. And I was curious about the pull and my interest and curiosity about the energy of gold. And then it quietened down for the last few months, and now it's reappeared. And it's very fresh, so it's only been the last couple of days. So I'm very much pulled to and drawn to the energy of gold. And of course, when I was sitting with creating this event, that was loud. And also sitting with creating with gold. So creating with the golden light. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll just flick this around a little bit. I've done a little bit of painting. I don't know if you can see it, but it's gold. um, it's kind of, it might be a bit reflective, but I'll make sure that's clear when I create on it. So this is like a foundation, a golden foundation of some sort. It looks a bit like a dog there, but I'm thinking like Aztec sort of pyramid or something, but I don't know. I'll just see what the pen wants to do with that. So I'm going to work with that as our main healing and main shifting of energy today. So what I'll be doing is creating on that, and I'm going to at some point add all of your names to that paper as well. So we'll talk about that later. I've also got behind me the stag drum, because I thought drumming drumming with this piece would also be good. So I'm sort of thinking we'll probably smudge. I want to light a candle and really connect with the golden light of the candle. We'll smudge and clear the energy. I'll do some creating, and I want to do some drumming after I've created at this point, and that's sort of what I'm feeling. I'm going to, well, it doesn't matter what I'm using yet because I'm not doing it yet, so I'll talk about that later. So, welcome, Ange and Teala and Jackie. Thank you. Thanks so much. So I'm thinking of golden light. I'm thinking of power. Now, of course, it can be greed that can be connected with gold. So hopefully we're not in that sort of gimme, greedy kind of state. So I guess that's something for us to reflect on. So, like with any power energy, it can tip to the extreme of being too much, or it could be tipped to the other extreme of feelings of powerlessness, feelings of lack of confidence, lack of self belief. Then hopefully we can find a middle point somewhere that is personal for us, that matches with our morals and our ethics and our personality in our life, and the type of person we do want to be, but also the type we don't. So if we don't want to become a greedy so and so, then we're going to use self control so that we don't tip to the other end of the power scale, if you like. So finding our balance of power where it's a healthy confidence, and a healthy power, a sense of empowerment, where I love empowerment, the energy of empowerment, where and if there's something really empowering about empowerment, because it just seems to all the energy seems to grow when we're in a sense, or when we're what's the best word here, when we're promoting perhaps, but that might not be quite the best word, but when we're actively empowering and we see other people feeling powerful or being empowered by the empowerment that we're offering, it's empowering for us as well. So there's something like contagious about empowerment. Whereas if we are, I'm thinking specifically about leading or teaching, if we're in a dominating power point, and I've seen this with other people as well before, where they're trying to keep people small to make themselves feel powerful, then there's sort of like this, it doesn't feed, like the empowerment seems to grow off each other, which is really exciting. So where do you sit, or where are you currently on this power scale, and where can you find your power? What do you need to increase in regards to perhaps your confidence or your self-belief or your self-trust? And what do you perhaps need to back off a bit in the areas that where you're being too controlling or too greedy or too much? So where can you bring it back, and where can you find, where's that center point for you? So that connects us with the energy of gold, because gold is very much like that too. I think about abundance with gold as well, with this golden energy. So abundance can be money, but it doesn't have to be, and it's certainly not just limited to money. It could be good health or opportunities, and things being in good flow is what I would call abundance. So I seem to feel that feels to me like it connects with the energy of gold. I see gold as light and bright, and also reminds me of opportunities, golden opportunities. And our card for today from yesterday's video is the Spirit Dragon, which is heightened energy, which reminds me of that energy and feeling of gold. So just a few things to perhaps get the cogs turning, get us something to sit with and feel upon, and perhaps write down as we're connecting. I think what I'll start doing is I'll grab a card. Sorry, I'm on my ironing board, or you're on my ironing board, and it's going to be a bit wobbly when I'm grabbing things off it. But I want to grab a card first, and then we'll light the candle, I think, and connect in with that golden light. Let's take a nice big breath, and I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need right now as we're connecting with the potential, the opportunities, the marvel, the mystery, the power, the beauty of gold. So the best card is this from Healing Energy Cards deck 1. Here. Card 43. I am expanding. It's in the rise category. It says, your light is expanding, not your lower ego demanding. Release who you are for who you could become. Opportunities and higher self. This actually quite aligns with that energy that I've been talking about. And it's very much talking about the expansion of things. So a bit like how I was talking about empowerment, how empowerment feeds off itself. And as we help other people step into their power, as we genuinely do that, it empowers us and that empowers them. And then we have this empowerment, growth and expansion across the board. Instead of the ego wants to control and dominate. It wants to keep some people small, or people small in general, so that we feel better, so that we feel more powerful and we feel like we're the authority. And we try and squash people down and not let them grow, not let them develop. We might act and pretend, as I've seen people do this, it's quite incredible, act and pretend like we care and like we're trying to help them grow, but actually we squash them down. So that would be more of the demanding ego, or the demanding lower self, this unhealthy sense of power. So where are you growing and expanding? Where is your light expanding, which we could translate to the energy of gold, or we could translate gold to the energy of light? Where is your light expanding, and how is it expanding? Or is it demanding? Is it controlling? Is it panicking because it's not in control right now? And opportunity. So this is a really quite relevant card at the moment. So let's allow ourselves to expand in the power, the essence of the golden light. So I'm going to light this little candle with golden light. So take a nice big breath as you tune in and connect with this energy and what it means for you, and also what you need from it for now. Do you need it to help boost your confidence in a healthier way? Do you need to help it, ask it, or do you need it to help you find courage and strength to continue to keep going with these difficult times in your life? Do you need to receive the abundance that this energy has to offer? Maybe you've been exploring how you can get more deeper or deeply into the flow. You can find that guidance and that support from this energy. So I'm going to use this to light the smudge stick. It should work, shouldn't it? Let's try. So going to light the smudge stick now so we can do some clearing. I think I'll just take my gloves off. Golden light connecting with the sun. Golden light connecting with fire. I think this is going to be the best way to light a smudge stick. Okay, so nice big breath as we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks, and attachments. So if we notice that we're tipping over the edge of this power scale, if we're becoming too controlling, too manipulative, too dominant, too greedy, that kind of thing, then let's recognize that stuff out and away and back into center, back into a healthy place of alignment with our power. So let's release our worries and stresses and pressures from our life in general, and let's imagine putting all the things we've got to do, the things rolling around in our mind, let's imagine putting those in a box outside our room so that we can be as fully present as possible. And so it is. I've got sand in here. Just need to make sure it's out because I still see sparks. Okay, that looks good. The candle's been sparkly. It's sparking in here. Okay, we're going to turn over to our board. Where did I put my tape? I'm going to tape your names up to the board because that will be better and easier for me. To see you. Oh, no, I need my other microphone. I have one right here. So I'm going to plug this in. It's going to move things here. I don't want the candle really under my microphone cord. So we're going to go here. Just plug this in. Okay, testing, testing. You should be able to hear me. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm using Unipin fine brush tip. And I'm going to be bringing this to life. And this is paint, by the way, and it's dried now. That's why I did it earlier. I'm going to be bringing this golden thing to life, and I'm going to be adding your names at various points as I go. Oh, thanks, Jackie. At various points as I go. So it's not planned. All I know is I'm going to do something on here, and I'm going to add your names on here. That's all I know right now. I have this feeling this wants to be some type of pyramid-y thing, but I will just let it unfold. So, enjoy. See if I might even try and zoom in just a bit. Oops. There. Okay. So, nice big breath. Now, as I create, I'm just going to take my scarf off. I feel like it's a bit bulky for what I'm doing. As I'm going, and as I say your name, I imagine that you're being called into this space with us. So if you're on the list and as I say your name, why not take a nice big breath? And perhaps what I would be doing if my name was on this list and I was a part of this as far as what I'm creating, I think I'd be imagining perhaps myself. I want to be connecting as deeply with this golden energy as possible. So I think what I'd be doing is, as my name's being called, I'd be just imagining that as an immersion of golden light, and really considering what this golden light represents for me at this time, and also how I can best work with it to help improve myself as well, and improve my relationship with my life. So let's start. So just making sure you can see me. So I'm just using my fine liner to outline, and the first thing I want to do is outline this area. So nice and solid foundations. Let's bring some names through now. We've got Carol White. I'm just going to, before I continue, I'm just going to tape down the bottom of this so it's not so loose. So Carol White, we have Anne, Cecile. And this feels very sacred. And as I say your names, I feel like a quiet moment, like an honouring you, but also This feels very sacred. We've got Kanti, Devi, Wedad, and Nicki Mohler. So you're like our pillars, our grounded 4 points, it feels like. So I'll just cross Nicki off so I know I'm up to there. Let's expand this energy. So I don't know what this is yet, but I'm going to outline it. And I'm looking in the gold for little shapes and patterns. Let's make that an eye, and that an eye, and a nose, and a mouth. Looks pig-like. Let's just colour that nose in. So I just want to create with this gold. And now we'll bring through Susan, Sonsteng, Jane Corlett, Matthew Keith, and Chelsea Keith. So nice big breath. You guys expand the foundations that have already been set, the 4 pinions or whatever you call them. I've got a face coming in here. Emerging from the gold, figures and faces. And radiating out on this side. Right, let's add 2 names here. We've got Anne-Marie Douglas and Allison. I'm just trusting in the unfolding here. Let's do something with this little guy up here. He's got like a flag or a banner coming out of his head. A flag or a banner, perhaps an announcement, or a flag that's put in the ground to, well, announce something. Okay, let's bring 2 more names in. Angela, Fraser, and Emily Fussell. Okay, we're still live. Yes. Okay, so just now creating these solid foundations, like brickwork at the base and at the top here of this pyramid. It's like a squished, like a top cut off the pyramid. But we've got these figures here at the top where the apex would be. So we've got two very solid areas here and here. The base, the foundation feels solid, and the base of the top feels solid. Okay, let's bring three more names in here. Joanne Monroe, Nicole E, and Priscilla Kimboko. Let's expand this base. Let's expand the foundations, which feels like expanding the truth of who we are, our true power, our true light. And we'll add now Rebecca Ross and Suzie Nicholls. Okay, let's add the gold is so bright, it's sort of at this point here, it's a bit hard to see the gaps in the golden paint because it's really bright and glary. These feel like little figures in here. Support people we meet along the way. Let's put our first person in the golden pyramid, and we've got here Angie Griswold. And down here we'll add Avril Daly. And here we're going to add Bridget Mehrtens. And over here we're going to add Jackie. And now we're going to come over to this little figure over here. Let's bring this figure to life. Now, who are these figures? Are they overseers? Are they gods? Are they a part of us? Do they represent us? This one here feels very Egyptian, actually. Okay, next is Janice Chalmers, Joanna Levine, Kathleen Glen, and Kimberly Veness. She will come over here. Kimberly Veness. Okay, let's expand on these guys. Bring some more detail in to this top thing. Let's just add this bit of a zone around the pyramid to strengthen the boundaries. And let's now bring through Michele Burch and Nicole Wiggins. Let's add some more deeper parts. It almost feels like, I feel like I'm carving them out of gold somehow. Okay, next we've got the last three. Let's put you along the bottom. Pamela Florea. We've got Rayna Ortiz. And Teala Smith. All added now. And I actually think I'm almost done. Let's bring these energies, the two, it feels like two triangles pointing, one's pointing up, one's pointing down, the masculine and the feminine. So I just want to bring a series of circles in here to help bring these energies together, which that feels better now. And I think I'm actually nearly done here. So let's look a bit closer at this. Oops. It's a bit scribbly because I was working quickly. But okay, so it feels to me like solid foundation of this pyramid in gold, solid structure, solid foundation, solid boundaries, sitting solidly on the ground in our physical body, within our physical life, on the earth, solid. This is something we build upon, but it's also something we build throughout our life. And sometimes we build on foundations and then we realize that maybe we haven't been aligned with our truth, or maybe we'd been programmed or brainwashed or manipulated to think that we were building healthy foundations when we weren't. And sometimes at various points in our life, when we go through big changes or big realizations, it's like our foundations feel like they crumble, and we can purposefully crumble them. It's a bit like the Tower card in the tarot, and this sort of crumbling of the building, this crumbling of the foundations to really strip things back and start building again. This might be seen as when we start over in our life after the end of a relationship or a big change that we go through, and we have to, it sort of feels like we start again. But hopefully we build foundations then that are better than the foundations that we built before. So the foundations do come up and they do crumble from time to time in our life. It shouldn't happen that often, maybe just a couple of times in our lifetime, I would think. Maybe some, it happens less frequently and some more frequently. But basically we do our best and we build our foundations, and we have then something solid, hopefully solid and true, and something that's aligned with our truth and not who we think others want us to be, or we don't have other motives or other agendas that do not align with our truth or with our highest truth. So hopefully over time and with some crumbling but then rebuilding, we build these really nice solid foundations, and this ends up forming the base of who we are and the base of where our life expands from, and our life and what we create with our life ripples out from here. This feels really nice to touch, which is why I'm just like feeling it over and over, but I'm a very tactile person. So it feels solid. It feels like it's taken time. It's taken our whole lifetime to build. It's taken trial and error. It's taken devastation and also construction to get to this point. Some of us may not even feel that our foundations are sort of complete, or not necessarily complete, but at a full space at this point. We may have just recently crumbled something and we're rebuilding. So it depends where we're at. So this feels solid, it feels strong. It's what we build everything upon in our life. And what we build upon, at least in this little scribble, these feel like different elements of the same energy. So we're looking at, if there were no figures here or faces, this would be the top of our pyramid. So this would take us up to the point. At the point is a banner or a flag. And this almost feels like reaching the pinnacle, reaching the place, reaching a point in our life where things feel perhaps reasonably good. And some of us may feel like we've got that flag in place, and some of us may feel like we're still way down here. And that's okay. It's sort of like a journey perhaps of climbing, getting to that place and then improving things and building again. So we're looking at the pyramid, and then we're looking at these faces, these elements here that represent that top part of the pyramid. This is probably where we really truly find ourselves and really truly be ourselves. There's a confident feeling with these guys, and they all feel like different facets of the same thing. They have quite an Egyptian feel to me, so feel quite old and ancient. These would be old and ancient parts of who we are. Different elements, different parts, different, like a shape-shifting sort of feeling as well, as we move from one role to the next and are called to be, in certain situations, we're called to be a different person than we were in other situations, depending on what we're going through. There's like a moulding, a shape-shifting, an adjustment, a changing element to this energy up here. Like they come in and they go out. And who are we called to be? I'm very much personally drawn to this figure. These others feel a little messy in the face in general. This one feels a little squashed. This one feels a little cheeky. He's showing his teeth. He's a little cheeky as he's got to the top. So he's probably helping, representing for us to keep our cheekiness in check. This one feels a little goofy. And this one, yeah, feels a bit squashed. But this one here I feel most drawn to, for me anyway, at this time. And it feels like I'm very much drawn to the neck and this sort of stretching out feeling. Almost like this side wants to lift up and lift out. Maybe break away in some ways, or maybe just expand this energy that's contained. Maybe this is once the flag's in, there's a point of sort of completion here, and then a part of it wants to break away and start a new foundation and a new lesson, a new journey of development and learning and exploration. This feels like the adventurer. So that's that. Let's drum to this now. Where's my drum? Okay, I'm going to play the stag drum. So the stag drum, very much called to be added here into this healing journey. These are like paddles, signal paddles that I forget what he's called now, the guy that guides the plane into its position to stop So these are the signals, these are the paddles that guide us in the right direction. And this stag is very much about direction and growth as his antlers have turned into branches. So take a nice big breath. I'll play this with my headphones in, so hopefully it will sound okay. And I'll try and play it so you can see it a bit. So I'm playing, actually, as I play here, it feels like a stepping stone going to this here. It feels grounding. And, you know, where is this taking us? Where is the energy of this taking us? Where is the energy of what you feel taking you? And how can you best harness and work with that? So nice big breath. That's the first time I've played this drum. It's quite beautiful, and it is on the website if it does speak to you. So it feels like it very grounding, so very much grounding us, but also as we're grounded, pulling us or pushing us or encouraging us to continue to expand and grow and not settle for the comfort zone. Comfort zone is good when we need to heal and recover, and when we've had a busy period and we just need to have some downtime, or we just need to catch our breath for a while, or we're not feeling well. Our comfort zone's comforting and protective and supportive like that. But if we're still wanting to live, if we're still wanting to get out and improve ourselves and make the most of our life, then we're going to be called to step out of our comfort zone and to expand ourselves and to grow. It's very difficult to grow in our comfort zone, because once we grow to the point that the capacity of our comfort zone, then we become stifled. So this element here, this head here, this representation is is encouraging us to grow. This drum's encouraging us to grow. So like stand strong on the ground, stand strong on the earth and in the foundations we've already created, and then grow and keep growing and challenging ourselves and learning some new things and finding some new experiences to experience in our life. So that's that. Let me just get myself sorted out here. Well, I'll turn the camera around or something. So I think that's that. Let's grab a card to go. I'll move in a whisker. Thanks for joining me today, and thanks for being a part of this journey. Oh, the candle went out for some reason, so I don't need to blow it. So I am expanding was our card we started with. So I'm going to pull a card to go. So thanks so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for your support. And I do trust that you found this helpful in some way. And thank you. If you want to be a part of the Healing List event for next month, which will be something different, then please have a look on the video description below and you can learn how to become a patron. So if you'd like to continue next month, I look forward to connecting with you again at the end of July. So the best card, thank you so much. Thanks, Jackie. The best card that the majority of us need now as we prepare to move forward from here is, so what's next? What do we need to know about what's next? Let's grab this card. It's from Healing Energy Cards, Deck 2, and it's this Untangling, card 60, and it's in the action category. It says, sort out the tangle, clear the knots, anxiety, complication, acknowledge what is a tangled mess, a solution, potential, and freedom exists. So this is suggesting that some of us might be feeling or might realize that we've got something a bit tangled or complicated or messy that we're dealing with at this time, or that needs sorting out. And it may be pronto. It may be something we need to deal with reasonably quickly, because we may realize that we're knotted up over this particular situation. So what do we need to do to untangle and sort out this mess? Sometimes we need to untangle. Sometimes we just need to cut the tangle off and start afresh. And that's the case when I think of something like my son's shoelaces when he was a young boy. For some reason, they were in massive knots. So it was quite the ordeal, but you could always untangle them. But the fishing line, when we went fishing, and my son, it's interesting, son, you know, I'm thinking S-U-N, which connects with gold as well. You know, tangling up fishing line is a whole nother story and is very difficult to untangle. So always, pretty much, unless it's a very simple knot and not too tight, when you're fishing and you have a knot in the fishing line, it's sometimes best to cut it off, discard it, and start again, knot free. So what do your knots require? Cutting away or untangling? And what do you feel is the best way for you to tackle the situation? Sometimes we need to detach and cut. Sometimes we need to look closer and untangle and sort it out a bit. Maybe there's some sorting out that needs to be done. So freedom does exist. A solution does exist. We don't have to not do anything and have the knot get even more tangled. So what can we do about it to sort this out now or as we move forward? So that's our cards as we leave here now. So thank you so much. And this ties up all of the resources for patrons for June. So thank you so much for your support. And I look forward to starting afresh with you with new resources in July. So enjoy the rest of your month. And thanks so much for connection, and thank you for your support. Namaste. Bye.